Hi everyone, Bernard here on behalf of MovieGameNostalgia.com. I hope you're all well. It's a little movie special this. We do little quizzes, don't we, as you know, with my reviews and various TV drama reviews and film reviews and specials, etc. What's out to buy, all this. But we do little quizzes, don't we, little movie quizzes. But it's funny, isn't it? I mean, obviously, the clues in the picture behind me there. Obviously, you ask people the favourite films, and a lot of people do say The Shawshank Redemption, don't they? It's always in people's top fives, deservedly so. A fantastic film, absolutely superb. So I thought I'd just do a little bit of a fun quiz now. This is the sort of quiz that if you've recently watched The Shawshank Redemption again, probably for the 20th, 30th, 40th, 50th time or whatever, then you may do okay. But if you're like me, where I've not seen this film for a long time, I'm going to have to go back and watch it now. I've put together some little 20 questions on it, 23 points up for grabs. I didn't do very well, I'll be honest with you, if I was doing these without researching the answers, obviously. And please bear with me, I got a lot of information from IMDB, Internet Movie Database, and Wikipedia, so I'm going off their information. So if there's anything slightly wrong with this, please bear with me. I've just used knowledge to do this, but obviously, as we know, certainly with Wikipedia, it's other people, isn't it, put information on, so there's no guarantee. But I'm fairly sure when I give you the questions and the answers to the questions, they won't be far out anyway. But please leave in the comments below if there's anything different, or you can think of anything different to what I come up with. Yeah, if you're new to the channel, the old this movie channel that's on Birding YouTube, please push your subscribe button. That'd be great down there somewhere. Push the bell notification so you know when these little specials, and as I say, I do movie reviews, TV drama reviews, etc, etc. And if you like what we see, I try to entertain and give you a bit of information along the way as well, which is great. So please push that bell notification and set your notifications to public. So obviously if they're set on private, you're not going to get them. So anyway, those who know me by now, these little quizzes, I'll give you a little bit of time to answer, or you can just pause. I mean, there's no real visuals in this, so it's pure verbal. So you can do other things while you're listening to me and see if you can come up with the answers. And I've no pretty pictures or posters to show you. This is a film that was released the first year that I had a video shop in Manchester. So it's obviously one I did have posters for, but sadly, I no longer have any. They've all been sold or given away probably the first couple of years of the video shop. Obviously, the posters I got, I tended just to give them away to customers, etc., rather than keep them, which was my mistake, but there you go. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this little quiz. 20 questions, we'll get through these now. Right, the Shawshank Redemption quiz. See how you do. Question 1. What year did Shawshank get its general release at the cinema in the US and the UK? So what year did it get its general release? Now, there were pre-test screenings and various little releases, but I'm after the year it got its general release. If you're a year out, I'll give you half a point, but what year did it get its release at the cinema in the UK and the US? I'm not sure. Other territories, very similar time, I'd assume. That's question 1. Question 2. What part does Bob Gunton play? Bob Gunton, the actor. What part does he play? Question 3. It's based, of course, on a Stephen King title. It was a short story. Stephen King, less than 100 pages, his original story. What was the full title before it was cut to the Shawshank Redemption? It had a longer title. What was the title of the book? Obviously Stephen King's book that this is based on. What was the full title? So Shawshank Redemption's in the title, but what else was it called as well? Can you remember the full title? Right, multiple choice questions now, so you got a chance if you don't know too much about it. How many Oscars was Shawshank Redemption nominated for at the Oscars? How many? Was it nominated for 7, 8, or 9 Oscars? And carrying on from that, second part of the question, so there's an extra point in this question, so there's 2 points up for grabs. How many did it actually win? Did it win none, not at all, 1, or 2? I mean, any of those three is deplorable, really, isn't it, considering the film? 0, 1, or 2. How many did it win, Oscars? The movie's got a tagline. You've probably seen it in the trailers. You've probably read it in previews, etc., etc. There's a tagline for the movie. You don't have to be spot on with this. I'll give you a point if you get near enough. But do you know, can you recite the tagline for the movie, Shawshank Redemption? What's the tagline? Couple of lines, isn't it? Couple of sentences. Well, we know Andy obviously ended up in prison, didn't he? But what was he convicted of? What was he put away for? What was his crime? I want the full crime. What did he do? Let me just say one word. That's not enough. There's more than one word needed for this answer. So what was he convicted of? All right, question 7. Nice easy one. Who plays Red? His surname's Redding, innit? I think, innit? I remember it again. I was saying my memory's shot. But who plays the part of Red in the film? Question 8. Right, we all know that little bit of a nasty gang, isn't it? Who pick on our hero for a little while, don't they? Led by the guy Boggs. But what's the gang called? What are they called? Are they called the Sisters, the Pack, or the Brothers? So another multiple option. So you got a chance with that one if you can't remember. The Sisters, the Pack, or the Brothers? What are they called? This horrible gang. Right, you know, Andy gets a little job in the library, doesn't he? So after 6 years of writing to the state to try and get some help with his library, how much is Andy sent by the state after the first 6 years of writing? What's the first check he receives to actually help with the stock in the library and buying books for the library? How much does he receive in money? How many dollars does he receive? Question 10. We all know a piece of music is played over the PA when Andy barricades himself in the office. What? And it's a Mozart. It's by Mozart. A piece by Mozart. But what's the piece called? What's it called that it actually plays out over the PA system? Again, if you get... It's 4 words in the title. If you get 2 or 3 of them, it's more or less right. You can have the point for this as well. I'm feeling very generous today. You know I'm quite mean usually, but I feel generous today. So which Mozart piece is played over the tannoy, over the PA system? Right, we have a little guy called Tommy comes into it, doesn't he, who's willing to testify on Andy's behalf, obviously. But sadly, as we know, I'm not giving any spoilers away. Who is ordered to shoot Tommy? To kill Tommy? Who is ordered to shoot? Not who did the order, who is ordered to do it? Who shoots Tommy and kills him? Question 12. Right, here we go. I only got one of these, believe it or not. If I'd watched the film again, I probably would have got all 3, but I only got one. Which 3 movie stars did Andy have on his wall? So he had 3 different movie stars on his wall at 3 different stages. Getting the old tunnel, obviously he needed slightly bigger ones, didn't he? So which 3 movie stars? 3 points up for grabs on this one. Name me all 3 movie stars. Right, question 13. Obviously, we always remember the bit where Andy's in his room and the warden comments on the Bible, doesn't he? Comments on the Bible. So, what did Andy leave? Obviously, on his escape. What note did he leave in the warden's safe? So, what did he leave as a note in reference to that scene earlier in the film? It's something that the warden said to him, and obviously Andy left him his note with the same statement on it. So again, it's sort of 4 words he left, a little bit of a play. But again, if you can get 1 or 2 of the words, I might give you that. I'll give you a point for that. Question 14. Obviously, the very final scenes of the film. What country were they supposedly, or where were they filmed at? What country did our 2 heroes, if you like, meet up in? What country was it? Obviously, it wasn't the United States. I'm not going to say it was the United States. They met up in another country. So where was that? Quite an easy one, I think, that one. Right, when the film was originally released, theatrical release, how long was it? How long was the film? I'll give it a multiple option, multiple choice. Have a think. Was it 2 hours 12 minutes, 2 hours 22 minutes, or 2 hours 32 minutes? So how long was the film? Not long enough, obviously. It could have gone on for much longer as far as I was concerned. certainly a 3 hours would have done it justice, wouldn't it? So 2 hours 12, 2 hours 22, or 2 hours 32. Right, well, you probably know some of the characters and some of the actors, don't you? But who directed the film? What's the name of the director? Can you remember? I'll take his surname if you can only remember his surname. It's not one that I'll be honest with you, I forgot this. I didn't know this one. That's question 16. Question 17, obviously we mentioned Gil Bellows, haven't we? Obviously a sort of young actor who played the role of Tommy. But actually there was a guy who was offered, allegedly, or I've read this 3 or 4 in different 3 or 4 sources, so it's probably true. Which guy was offered the part of Tommy originally? It just come out, so just as a clue, this will probably help you and give you the answer. He just filmed in Thelma and Louise, and he was going on to shoot Interview with a Vampire. So which famous actor was earmarked to play Tommy before Gil Bellows stood in for him? That was question 17. Question 18. He only had a budget of about $25 million. Again, a multiple choice this, but it didn't. Prison films don't make much money at the box office, so it didn't do that great for a film. So did it make back at the box office? This is without video rental, which it did really, really well, and obviously video rental, yeah, at the time, and obviously DVD even since then. How much did it make at on its theatre release? What was its box office? Was it $38 million, $48 million, or $58 million? Not a lot either way, is it? It obviously recouped its budget and more, but not, on the basis of a massive film, none of those 3 figures are very high. So was it 38 million, 48 million, or $58 million? Right, question 19, nearly there now. In 1999, the director, if you knew him or not from that other question, you might know this even if you don't know who the director was, directed another King prison drama in 1999. What was the title of that? I mean, even if you don't know, might be able to guess that one if you're not 100% sure. So the director of this film, Shawshank Redemption, directed another prison drama based on a Stephen King story in 1999. What was the title of that one? And question 20 is an interesting one. Internet Movie Database, who we've talked about before, and there's wonderful things. I get a lot of information from there. They have a top 250 films of all time. Where do you think Shawshank Redemption comes in that top Internet Movie Database ratings? Let me know what you think. Where does it come? That's a bit of a fun, the last question. Where do you think it comes? Right, there you go. 23 points up for grabs there. Let's see how you did. Let's go through it all. Right, what year was it released at the cinema? Well, it was actually screen tested, etc., and some minor releases in 1994. But the answer I really wanted was it was released generally in 1995. But you do see 1994 and 1995. Give yourself half a point if you said 94 or 96. But obviously a point if you said 1995, because that's when it went on general release, about February 1995, I think it was. So give yourself a point for that. Bob Gunton, the actor, question 2. Yeah, of course, he plays Warden Norton. So if you said Norton or the Warden, that'll do. You give yourself a point for that. And the title of the short story, well, we had Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption. So it's Rita Hayworth. So if you said Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption, give yourself a point for that. Rita Hayworth's the important thing, obviously, in the Shawshank Redemption. How many Oscars was it nominated for? Well, it was 7. It only nominated for 7 Oscars. And how many did it win? Absolutely zilch. No Oscars whatsoever. So very disappointed. So give yourself a point each if you got both of them right. And the tagline of the movie, and if it's anything like what I'm going to say now, if it's near enough, give yourself a point. The tagline for the movie: fear can hold you prisoner, hope can set you free. So if you got anything like that, give yourself a point. And what was Andy convicted of? Well, a naughty boy. Was he a naughty boy? Question 6. What was Andy convicted of? Well, he was convicted of murdering his wife, but what I also wanted was, and her lover, the golf pro. So obviously you don't need the golf pro. You've got wife and his lover, fair enough. But if you just put the wife or murdering a lover, that doesn't count. I want them both. He was accused of murdering his wife and her lover. yourself a point if you got both them. All right, give yourself half a point if you got one or the other, or just said murder. I'll give you half a point. As I say, I'm being kind today. Who plays Red? Of course, well, in the book, Red was a red-haired Irishman. So obviously, who are you going to get to play that with? Morgan Freeman, of course. Morgan Freeman played Red. Poetic license. You do what they want in Hollywood. And the prisoners gang. The gang, what's the name given to the gang that Boggs leads? Is obviously the Sisters, isn't it? They're called the Sisters. You just can't wait for them to get the comeuppance, can you, when you're watching that film? And after 6 years of writing to the state, Andy got a cheque for $200 for the library. So question 9, he got a cheque for $200. So give yourself a point for that. And of course, the Mozart piece that was played over the Tarnice, absolutely fantastic, was The Marriage of Figaro. So if you said Figaro or The Marriage or something like that, give yourself a point. I say I'm being kind today. The Marriage of Figaro. And of course, the warden ordered the shooting, didn't he, of Tommy? And obviously that was by the guard Hadley. So if you said Hadley, or I'm not quite sure of his first name offhand, warden ordered Hadley to shoot him. So obviously Hadley's the answer I wanted for your point. And which 3 film stars were on the wall? Obviously, well, we started with Rita Hayworth, didn't we? And then she was covered up by Marilyn Monroe, who in turn was covered up by Raquel Welch. So give yourself 3 points if you got all 3 of those ladies. Absolutely, well, you can blame him. I'd have all 3 on my wall now. Question 13. The note that Andy left in the warden's safe, obviously, the warden commented about salvation, didn't he? But the note he left read, salvation did lay within. So obviously he'd hid the hammer, didn't he, in the hollowed out Bible. So obviously the note left was salvation did lay within. So anything like that, give yourself a point. Which country did they meet up in at the end? Obviously they met up in Mexico, on the beach in Mexico. And how long was the cinema release? Well, it was 2 hours 22 minutes. That was obviously, there's probably been extended versions, etc., director's cuts, but it was 2 hours and 22 minutes. It's theatrical release length. And the director, well, it was Frank Darabont. That's someone I totally forgot about, who obviously we're going to talk about in a minute. Went on to do another couple of Stephen Kings, including another prison drama. Frank Darabont. So give you a point. You can have a point for Darabont. Obviously, you just said you're not having a point for Frank, but you can have a point if you just put Darabont. Number 17, of course, Gil Bellow starred as Tommy, but obviously the guy who was on Thelma and Louise, An Interview with the Vampire, of course, was Mr. Brad Pitt, who was penciled in originally, but he went on to do Interview with the Vampire instead. So not a bad film in itself, was it really? Question 18, yeah, the budget 25 million. It actually got back at the box office. This is just the theatrical release, 58 million. So it was the highest of the 3 I give you, but again, pretty pathetic if you think about how much the big films make these days, 58 million. But as I say, it went on to make a lot of money and was the most rented film, I think, in the United States and probably in the UK as well when it came out on video. And question 19, of course, director we talked about, Frank Darabont. He went on to also direct in 1999, The Green Mile, another one that's probably in a lot of people's top 5 or top 10 films, The Green Mile. Perhaps we'll do a quiz on that. Let me know in the comments if you want a quiz on that one, if you want me to test you on The Green Mile, and then you can watch it beforehand, can't you, as well? That was question 19. And question 20, of course. Bit of fun, this one, really, because you could probably guessed it, couldn't you? IMDB's Internet Movie Database's top 250 films. Where does Shawshank Redemption rank? Well, I think up to a couple of days ago, it was number 1. So it's ranked number 1. I think it's got an overall score of about 9.3 out of 10. Anything over 7.5 is excellent. So 9.3. I think it's the rating the highest, so it's up there at number 1. It may have been knocked off by now, I don't know, but obviously it took over from The Godfather. The Godfather was the original number 1, and The Green Mile took over from that. So, hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to tell you what, I got a pathetic, absolute pathetic, I'm useless, 9.5 points. So how did you do? Let me know in the comments how you did, and please let me know if you enjoyed this little quiz, and we're all all things happening there. I don't know what that's bibbing. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Please let me know in the comments below if you did, and let me know what your scores were. You can let me know here, or follow me on Twitter. Let me know on the Twitter page at nostalgia_movie, and also I'm at Charles Dineen, DINNWN. So you can follow me on either of those, and you can follow me on Facebook at BoardGameGeek with links to moviegamenostalgia.com, my little website, my little business for old and rare DVDs, movie posters from the 90s and 2000s, sadly no Shawshank Redemptions, and rare older board games as well. So if you can find time to get onto moviegamenostalgia.com, it would be very, very much appreciated. Thumbs up for you for helping me out with that. And as I said, please, if you're not a subscriber, please do so. Tell your friends, please. Tell your friends about these little things and these little reviews. And I think I'm up to about 330 videos I've put out now over the last 6, 7, 8 months. So, and if you're into football, obviously I do little vlogs on Manchester City. If you're not into Manchester City, or fair enough, it doesn't matter. But obviously, if you're into, or you want to get into it, if you're in America and you want, I like football. I want an English team to follow. Manchester City. There's no better, in my opinion. I've been there for over 60 years. I've been a City fan, even though obviously I didn't know it before I went. Obviously 1965, 66 was my first season. So don't, there's a lot of rubbish spouted about Manchester City and the fans and the club, but one of the most historic, best clubs in English football, if not the best in my opinion, but I'm biased obviously. Anyway, thanks for watching today. We're going to do the rest today. Have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. And please, let's all look after each other. And hopefully you'll join me again for something very, very soon. Let me know what score you got. I bet you got more than 9.5. Absolutely pathetic. It's Bird is saying goodbye for now. I'll see you soon.